Hello everyone, this is Banter Bill,
Hello, comrade.
and welcome to SAR's Embrace, Path 1 Dungeon Guide. This is not a speedrunning guide, but a guide meant for those who are new to the dungeon, for those who need a refresher. In terms of class composition, I recommend classes with Reflex, so Mesmers and Guardians are very helpful in this dungeon. Also, you want to bring Inquest Slaying potions, and not Dredge Slaying potions, as most of the baddies are Inquest.
My crew will
Starting off,
behind me
after
until
you
the
choose your
station
path, you want to make sure
The
to
gateway
group
is
around
stable.
this Asura gate,
Let's proceed.
as you want to go through it as quickly as possible. So we go through the Asura gate, and we're going to head to the right on this little ledge here. This allows us to skip the first group of ads.
The worst
Defense,
news
then
will
offense.
likely set off every alarm in this complex.
Alright, so we're just going to skip the cutscene and wait until the first mobs walk right past us. There they go, and then we're off to kill these barriers. A common theme in this first part will be to kill the barriers, and then run to the next, avoiding the ads. And then we're up to our first boss. A group of ads will spawn before the boss comes. As a Mesmer, I typically try to pull them into the back wall. These guys do have projectile attacks, so reflex. You can just throw them down as you get them. And then the Golem spawns, and so I recommend taking down the silver guys first, although you can start attacking the boss if you're a heavy AoE build. And so our group just focuses on the silver guys. Kill those two guys to start off, and then we will get the boss. I will speed up this boss fight. He's not too difficult. Mostly you can heal through his attacks. He has some knockback, so stability can be helpful. And we're just ignoring the other ads that spawn and taking them down either through AoEs or if they're in range of our attacks. Alright, so we get the champ chest and the event chest, and we're just going to kill these barriers and skip all the groups of ads until the next boss. So we kill the barriers, and we're just going to keep on running. So we're also dropping reflex as we go along. If I see baddies, I will drop a couple of reflex, either feedback or my warden or my temple curtain, to reflect the bad guys' attacks.
Crazy.
And this will be a common theme throughout this first part, just killing barriers and moving along. The barriers at the start are close enough to hit them, both in melee. They start to get further and further apart. And usually I just drop my feedback right over a barrier so we can stay relatively safe while we're attacking them. Alright, then we're on to the first boss. I recommend that your group run all the way to the back wall to break aggro of the mobs that are chasing you. Also, as a Mesmer, I push the boss back there so ranged characters can attack the boss from back here. I recommend throwing down reflex on the boss when you get a chance. Otherwise, he can freeze you like I'm frozen now. This is a pretty cool pose though. I'll speed up the rest of this fight because he's a relatively easy boss. Again, mostly you just want to throw down your reflex and watch out for some of his knockbacks. He also applies weakness occasionally, so I also throw down my null field as a Mesmer. Alright, we take down the boss. Don't forget the event chest, maybe behind you. We're gonna run through this next part. There are mines and golems on this next part. If a golem gets you within melee range and hits you, you will probably go down. I recommend using swiftness and blocks and running along the left edge.
Quickly.
So we're guarding Pup's retreat. We're just gonna keep running. As you can see, our Mesmer went down in the back, so I'm gonna quickly revive her. I recommend going back and reviving anyone who goes down. It's relatively safe as long as the golems don't pull you in.
Need help here.
If they do pull you in, I recommend just stun breaking out of there, because you do not want to be in their melee range. And then once you're through the mine part, head to the left. We are going to pull the 3 golems back here. I recommend that the group stack where I am, just to pull the golems. Some groups can stay in the stack throughout the entire fight. However, there are some AoEs that can bring down your entire group if you are stacked up. Reflects are useful here, so I recommend popping down your reflects when you can. We stay in the stack to start off, but then we quickly break the stack once we're getting hit by these dazes. So stability could also be helpful. So I'm just alternating between all my different reflex, feedback, warden, and teleport. This last guy can't pack a punch if you don't have your reflex up, as you can plainly see. So I immediately threw my feedback so that doesn't happen again. Of course he's pulled right out, but we managed to survive the fight.
Protected.
Alright, 3 champions down. You should get 3 champ bags. And we're already at the final boss. For the final boss, I recommend 4 of the group members stay back here, and 1 group member go to pull the final boss. There are actually 2 people at the final boss, but if you're careful, you can manage to pull just the person you need. So I'm going to pull Tazza. With my greatsword, I'm going to be careful not to hit the other bad guy there with my greatsword beams. So I'm just pulling Tazza and bringing her slowly backwards. Now once she's back here, eventually she'll use an attack that'll teleport her to me, her AoE attack right there. And now once she's in the open, the rest of the group will take her down. She is a relatively easy boss. The only thing to worry about is her AoE attack. If you get caught in that AoE attack without dodging, you will most likely go down. As a Mesmer, I stay in melee range the entire time, and I use Sword 2 through that AoE attack. I recommend everyone stay in melee range if they can. That AoE attack will teleport her around, and it's easier for the group if she stays relatively in the same spot. If one person stays at range, then she might teleport to that person instead. Alright, then we take down the boss. Note that this champion does not drop a champ chest. And we are done. Sorrow's Embrace, Path 1. Thanks for watching, guys.
Come on, hit me. I'll hit back.